The local state matches are the toughest one to umpire.
This game needs umpires to be physically present on the field of play for a lot of factors other than decision making. BCCI is doing a wonderful job.
Life just flashed in front of my mind.
There would be times that your instinct may go wrong, but most of the times if you trust your instinct, you will get it right.
Here we are, the second part of our episode, the second session with our lovely friends, the emerging umpires in India. There are many, but we are very privileged to have a couple of them with me here. So let's get started. I have with me Ajitesh Argal, who's been a prolific cricketer, under-19 India, 2008. And that was your memory down the lane, right? That's a great one. And then Swaroopanand Kannur, who's been one of our leading emerging umpires of BCCI. So let's get started with this talk. I think we have had great time, in the first session that we had with the elite umpires, the seniors, who I'm sure you also look upon. But there's another view which we would like to have from you, being the youngsters and being the umpires who are coming up the ranks. So my first question to both of you would be, climbing through the grueling ranks of BCCI in a very positive sense, the domestic tournaments, is often called a test of survival. As we all know, it's never been easy. BCCI conducts about 3,000 odd matches, and with about 150 plus umpires and 80 odd match referees, it's never easy. So what is the biggest culture shock an umpire faces when transitioning from local state cricket to high pressure televised domestic matches, which you guys must have come through? So Ajitesh, your thoughts on this?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting us to this podcast. I wouldn't say it's a grueling shock, but transition happens in every stage, be it if you're a cricketer or you are an umpire or a match referee or a coach. Transition is something which is inevitable in today's world. As far as this culture thing is concerned, BCCI is doing a wonderful job. I have passed through the examination through the players category, wherein the level 1 was exempted and we could climb the ladder straight away. So the playing experience definitely helps, and at the same time it depends upon how you go about it. Coming to the state to the national matches, it is more like, I remember one very good saying when I was making my debut in first class. Our coach came and told me that it's the same 22 yards, it's the same bat, it's the same ball, nothing changes. So that has really helped me grow as an umpire. So I don't see the surroundings around. It's the same 22 yards, it's the same ball, it's the same bat. I need to give decisions based on that. So for me, if I'm doing under 15 game or an IPL game, it's absolutely the same.
Superb. That's a great preparation. How about you, Swaroop?
First of all, as Ajitesh said, thank you so much for inviting us on this podcast, sir. So the question is about transitioning from state cricket to live domestic games. We have to perform as expected from BCCI to get the transition. That's the first thing. So what I felt, there's a subtle difference. The preparation is same, but the difference which I feel, so if you compare a BCCI static camera game to a broadcast game, over there the decisions is what is being looked into, and the match referee judges the umpires based on the overall game sense and management. But when you transition to high profile games, whenever a decision is required, the zoom up is on the umpire's face. So in the static camera games, the way you umpire is looked at, wherein at high profile live games, it is even the smallest nudge of your mouth, your expressions. So it narrows down to those finer points. So the critical aspect over here is to be composed, to be calm, and these are the subtle changes which an umpire has to adapt. So these are the changes which I feel if you can make it a part of your routine while you are doing the state games, the BCCI games which are non-televised, you can just smoothly transition into the live broadcast games, which can portray a confident picture. Because coming over here, you need to be solid, and that is the change I feel is.
The point here is also, while you guys have made it to the top, and now you are not just the impaneled umpire of BCCI, but you are also officiating at the highest level, also doing IPL. We all have come through the ranks. You've done your local matches. Now, the transition from the local state matches to the BCCI structure, there must be a jump, there must be a good gap.
Definitely yes, because I'll say BCC the local state matches are the toughest one to umpire, because over there everything which happens is like at grassroots level. So once you there is no review, there is nothing which is actually recorded. So player reactions are raw. You are managing them. So that is where you learn player management. You make your techniques, and then the jump from that to the BCCI level is, I feel, about just implementing those learnings which you have done at the local level, and also ensuring that you do the job thoroughly well. Your preparation has to be that notch up as compared to what you were doing there at the local levels. So a jump is definitely there, but the practice which happens at the grassroots level, you have to fine tune that further so as you can do the job which is expected at the top level.
And also from the practical side as well as the theory side, as well as the the examinations that you go through, it's never been easy, isn't it? From the state level to the BCCI level, I think the entry mark is about some 95% or something like that.
Yes, so as Ajitesh said, he came in through the players category, so they were exempt from level 1. If I have to speak about myself, I had to give 5 exams.
Oh my God.
The first was a state level, so I had to be in the top 5 in the state, so that the state nominates me for the BCCI exam. Then we had a BCCI level 1 theory exam, which was based on the MCC laws of cricket. We had to score 90% there to be promoted to a BCCI level 1 refresher exam. There is where we were taught about the BCCI playing conditions. From the MCC laws, we transitioned to BCCI playing conditions. So level 1 refresher was based on that exam. Then we had a BCCI level 2 theory examination, which incorporated both uh, the MCC laws and the playing conditions. And then the people who scored 90 in that had to go for a level 2 practical examination, where we were tested on the on-field decision-making skills. We had a personal interview, so it was back in 2015, and so following this entire process, it went for 5 years. I gave my first exam in 2011, and I became a BCCI umpire in 2015. So there were 5 exams spaced across 5 years, and you had to score 90% in each of them to make it. Now the system has changed, but this is the process through which I had to come into the system.
And this is where that grueling word comes and fits in, that how it's not easy for our viewer friends to know that there are so many state umpires, then brilliant umpires. They're doing such a great job. Having experienced cricket as a professional player before moving into officiating, how much easier or harder does that make understanding players' psychology on the field, Ajitesh?
Yeah, definitely. Having played this game helps a lot in managing the players, because once you have been on the other side of the table, you know that when I was like playing, when I was a bowler, and initially when I started umpiring, everything it looked out for me, because that was the perception. But you realize that so many things to factor in: distance to travel, the angle of the ball, from where the bowler has delivered. All those things come into picture when you have to deliver a decision, unlike the playing days. So it does help. At the same time, there have been occasions when I have been a part of the dressing room where things have flared up, so I know how the players think. So managing the players to some extent, yes, but at the same time, players also know that now, as I'm an umpire, they expect us to give everything correct, which practically speaking is not possible in today's DRS technology. And I'm very happy that because of the technology, if there are any errors, they are being corrected. So DRS is a big friend of the umpires lately. But yes, I would not lie. It definitely helps being a former player. to umpire a certain game and understand the psychology of the players.
So moving on to the next one for both of you, every umpire remembers, this was also asked to the seniors, every umpire remembers their first major televised assignment. What was the exact thought running through your mind during the national anthem or just before the first ball was bowled?
For me, as an umpire, my first televised game was senior women's one day, I guess, and it was a full DRS game. So I was excited for it because families play a major role in supporting, and they look up to our games. When I was playing, also my mother and my other family members, father and all, they used to get glued to the TV and watch my bowling spells. As an umpire, I'm married now, so my wife, again my mother, she whatever match I'm doing, she would just love watching me, and it's a wonderful feeling in terms of family members. They also get excited, they get joy of us being on the television doing a match. So for me, to be honest, I was excited more than nervous that okay, this is a game, and where we can actually see ourselves, where we can improve as an individual.
Good,
So
good,
it was a
good.
good feeling.
No, that's great. That's great. And I think being a player and played at a certain level also helps because that eases the nerves when it comes to the practicality. Yes, there will be the emotional part which will always play. So, how about you on this particular thought?
I would like to state the moment when I made my international debut as an umpire in the India versus West Indies Women's ODI series, which was held last December. So the before the first game, the national anthems rolled out, and standing there, life just flashed in front of my mind because I've always seen national anthems sitting at home. I used to stand and watch at the TV, looking at the umpires and the players standing for their national anthems. And here I was standing on this side of the camera on the ground, facing all the dignitaries and the crowd, and being a part as an umpire in that game. So that feeling was surreal. It was like, have I really achieved this? And the answer to it was, as I was seeing, this is something which hard work has paid off. Since 2015, I have been umpiring, and at in the year 2025, I managed to crack this. So it was a journey of 10 long years. So the entire system through which we went, the way BCCI has helped us to grow, the way our umpiring fraternities, our mentors, coaches, committees. So the a big thank you to them went out from my heart, and it was a feeling of goosebumps. It's something which I cannot express in words because that's something which I experienced for the first time. It'll always be special for me.
Superb. Uh, when it comes to the perception about sport, it's often said that if people don't remember the umpire after the match, the umpire has done a perfect job. We did discuss this before with the seniors too. In today's era of slow motion replays and social media outrage, as we all go through that, is that still realistically possible?
It is correctly said that a umpire who comes unnoticed and goes unnoticed has done the job as is expected. But coming unnoticed and going unnoticed nowadays, with the invent of the technology and the upgradation of the technologies, we are dealing with computers. So every time 1 millimeter of a ball inside the wide guideline, when it's called a wide, it's going to be overturned. So we are bound to make mistakes. But what matters to me as an umpire is how well do the players accept our errors when we make. If a decision is overturned, it's not about coming unnoticed and going unnoticed, but it is about how acceptable that decision was. A correct decision made will always be accepted. But if a decision is reversed, are the players okay with the error which we have made? Do we have to manage anyone? Here also comes like the fourth umpire, if he's there, if he's approached by people, we from the on-field also come to know there has been something which is kind of not normal. But if things are okay, if we have a decision overturned, if things are going smooth, players are not even complaining. Correct. That's something which I feel comes unnoticed and goes unnoticed in that way. yes, we have done the job
And
which is
it
expected.
balances out also to
It
some
does.
extent,
It does,
because
sir.
that's how the acceptability factor that you mentioned about other players, because some could go in their favor, some could go against. So it's their right to object or to look for reviews. But then I think it's the correct decision which plays the vital role. How about you? Any thoughts on this?
No, I absolutely agree with what Swaroop said, that it is very correct to say that an umpire or the umpires in general, if they go unnoticed, they have done a fairly good job. But as I mentioned earlier, that with technology coming in, so it's mainly that the player management and all, if they have the reviews, they can take it.
When elite players produce extraordinary moments, whether it's the magical spell or an outrageous shot, do you still occasionally admire the spectacle as cricket lover, or has the professional concentration taken over completely?
How much ever professional we try to be, end of the day, we are also humans. Correct. And yes, we are professionally focusing on a specific delivery whenever it's being bowled. We are there to give correct decisions. But being honest, as a byproduct of that, we also end up admiring someone if someone plays a beautiful shot, or if a bowler bowls a beautiful delivery, even if it doesn't get a wicket. In my mind at least, I'm like, wow, this does happen. But this is a secondary thought that comes to the mind. The primary thought always is to be in the zone. In the umpiring terminology, we say we watch the grid. The grid means the set of stumps and where the ball is heading. Is it gonna hit, miss? So that is because if the batter had not played that shot and that same ball had hit the pad, there would have been an appeal. So a fan by moment at that point in time should not strike, because there can be a different result to that same delivery. So being professionally present over there is more important. But once everything in your mind is settled for that delivery, that wow does it should come, because that then means that you're also enjoying the game.
Correct. And the reason why I brought this question was also for the viewer's friend to know that how delicate it is for you guys to balance the two. One is the admiration while doing the job that you are supposed to. On the other hand, switch over to the job that you're, which is the final output. So both, in one is the admiration and the two is the realistic, result-oriented performance that you are supposed to do and focus and work towards it. So you play these multifaceted roles and multifaceted approaches that comes through your job, which is very important for everyone to know, and that's very commendable from umpire's perspective, because you have so much in your head to focus on, and on top of that your instinct is also saying, oh, I love this shot, whether it's from X player or a Y player, and that really kind of kindles the whole thing. So handling players' confrontation is one of the toughest aspects of officiating, whichever role you play, whether it's on field or a third umpire. Third umpire to some extent is maybe out of it, but the fourth is for sure. When an elite captain or a fiery fast bowler loses control emotionally, what psychological techniques do you use to calm the situation without losing authority?
Yeah, so as I said earlier that I've been at the other side of the table as well. So it helps me in understanding the psychology, and it's very important to diffuse the situation, because there would be, I would say, a lot of times that the player would not want to react in a certain way, but that situation, he loses his cool and he may react in a certain way. So as umpires on field, that is our primary job. If there is a confrontation between the two opponents, we are there to diffuse the situation, because that is one thing which technology can never take care of. That is why there are two umpires, one at the bowler's end, one at the striker's end, so that the smooth conduct of the match. And then obviously we have the match referee, who takes a very closer look on how the match is going. So there are a lot of skills, there are a lot of psyche which goes behind it. And another most important part is what's your camaraderie with the players, how much the players respect you, because ultimately it's about give and take. If you have a certain image, and if players respect you, that becomes easy. to make them understand that okay, there's
And
a
that
fine
must be a
line.
real challenge for young umpires coming
Yes,
up, you know.
absolutely, absolutely.
You got
And
to you got to make your ground before you take off. Yeah.
yes, because another challenge is since I've recently started umpiring, so there are a lot of my colleagues who are still playing. So there has to be a very fine line because now I'm an umpire by profession. So players behave in a certain way, umpires behave in a certain way. We are here to be absolutely neutral and to make sure that there is no unfair play being done. So that line shouldn't be crossed. As far as that line is not being crossed by the players, it is fine. But if it does, then we have to dock them. There is a code of conduct in most of the tournaments. So that is how we go about it.
It's often felt that umpiring is a very tedious job. I mean, it does demand a lot of fitness and stuff like that. So, modern umpiring demands elite fitness levels that we talk about. What does your training routine look like during off season to maintain stamina, concentration, and reaction sharpness and all? Do you have a preparation module or some kind of a calendar for yourself as to how you prepare, how you approach the season?
Yes, on a lighter note, even if my body type is such that even if I breathe, I'll put on weight. So it's a very important aspect for me. That's how it is. So I believe in the off season it is very important to be doing your cardio sessions, doing your core workout sessions. So basically, what I've understood while umpiring is you can be at your 100% confidence level if you're physically fit. Imagine you are in a position where you are having a slight niggle in some body part, and then the focus levels will drop. So you need to have fitness levels which will sustain you throughout the season, which demands good traveling, which demands sleep, which demands focus. So there are a lot of things which are required for you to be taken care of. So I believe it's like filling in petrol in a car. So you fill the tank and then you go set off for a ride. So off season can be treated like that you fill in petrol inside you so that you can sustain it through the ride of the season. So it's very important to be physically fit, sir.
And that's the reason why I ask this question, because it's often felt that it's the players who prepare themselves for the season. What would an official prepare? But which is a myth, basically, which is just a thought which can go in any direction. I feel, being in the circuit and working with you guys, that it's tough job. End of the day, whether it's 6 hours, 7 hours a day, and multi-day games and games one after another, it can be taxing with the travel that you mentioned. It's never easy. So I think for the umpires, the off season is even more critical in some sense to prepare and be ready for the season, because the seasons could be very long and very demanding.
And to add to it, sir, it's not just about physical fitness, but when the season starts, you don't know what sort of postings are you going to be thrown at. You might start the posting with a red ball game. You might start with a white ball game. You might do men's. You might do women's. You might do one day, T20, multi-days, multiple formats, multiple playing conditions. So before the season starts, you have to be right up there with your preparations regarding the laws and playing conditions as well. So this is a area where people don't understand the amount of effort an umpire has to take so as to be ready for any given opportunity. So apart from physical fitness, this preparedness also is very important during the off season.
With the rapid expansion of T20, T10 in UK, do you think we are moving towards a future where AI and automation replace most on-field decision making?
I don't see it replacing it because, as I mentioned, that umpires are there to manage the smooth conduct of the game. You cannot just place a computer and for every decision the AI takes care of, because that's the adrenaline rush. When you see a DRS, you have a timer. That is where the decision making comes into. You see the wicket keeper telling the bowler, the captain asking the wicket keeper, you have 15 seconds. When the clock ticks 10, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, that gives a good viewership as well. So, and again on the umpiring part, when the decision comes, be it the correct or even if it's overturned, we get to know that okay, this was the perception and this is what it is. So AI would be there, but I don't see it completely replacing it. Yes, definitely it will help in a better decision making in terms of less errors, but I don't see a complete replacement. Umpires, I mean, this game needs umpires to be physically present on the field of play for a lot of factors other than decision making.
Absolutely. And I somehow feel that AI word, the artificial part, is out of the intelligence that the humans only give, right?
Correct.
That's how it has come into existence. So humans can't be replaced per se, but it can only be complemented, so in some sense. So that is important, and AI throws upon those options. In fact, AI also goes for a check, as we all know. They also need a check at some stage. So I totally agree with you, Ajit. What are your thoughts on this?
So this beautiful game of cricket is such that if a batter makes a mistake, he gets out. A bowler makes a mistake, he is hit for runs. Only thing when it comes in contention is when an umpire makes a mistake. Everyone's allowed to make a mistake, and this is where the artificial intelligence thing comes into picture. So the beauty of the game is also in the small things where people make small mistakes, and that's where the essence of the game lies. So imagine you take out this essence of the game, everything becomes monotonous. So and even the technology with which we are working is not foolproof. The ball hits the pads, the further part is all projected by the technology. This is where it will hit. And the technology also says a columns as umpire's call. So the umpire there also cannot be eliminated because technology can't 100% say it's correct or not. So if this is where we are, getting off the umpires and replacing it with AI, I don't think so. It's something which the
I
game
think it
is
only makes it more exciting and maybe a different perspective towards the whole thing. But look at in the recent IPL, you get those little pop-ups which says ask a question to Google AI, right? And all of a sudden, what is the situation we are in, and what could be the fair outcome of it? So it's all estimation. It's all what is felt at that point of time with the experiences that one has had.
correct.
So based on that,
Just
I
going
think
a step forward, then would it be also that there won't be coaches? Because you can ask AI, we are in this situation, give us a plan to win the match from here. You will get an answer. But coaches will be there.
the manual intervention
It
is
has
very
to be
important.
there, is what I
Yes,
feel.
yes. So coming to the next step, there are moments like faint edges or boundary saves where the on-field umpires may initially have a different perspectives. How do you quickly communicate and align before deciding whether to make a final call or to involve the third umpire? It's. I know in today's context you would not take a chance on field, but what are your views?
So the faint edges, as far as I am concerned, I go with my first instinct, because majority of the times your first instinct would give you a proper perception. It's only when we complicate it, like whatever little career I've had till now, and whatever, because after every game I do analyze my good decisions or my areas to improve, that way I can become a better umpire. So I have realized that only the times when I have changed my first instinct and I have doubted it, the decision has gone the other way, or there has been an error. Otherwise, most of the times, and sometimes, to be practical enough, where there is a stadium of say 80,000, 90,000 people, this DJ playing out, so it's very difficult to pick up those faint edges. But as a player, the reactions and all. Sometimes you have to pick up the clues, and also what your gut and your first instincts is saying. And it's not only about the sound, it's basically the eyes. You need to trust your eyes. Normally in a match where there is no noise from the outside, where the viewership is less in terms of physical presence, we sync both of them, eyes and ears. But in games like these, where there are a lot of people coming and there are a lot of noise happening, so we need to trust our eyes more than our ears, because that deviation, that slightest of the deviation, you can't flicker your eye at the wrong time, because you have to be there. And there would be times that your instinct may go wrong, but most of the times, if you trust your instinct, you will get it right.
How do you handle pressure on and off the field with different stakeholders involved in the game? We talked about players handling. There are officials which are part of the PCT and otherwise. Then there are fans who are watching the game, and then the social media and the conventional media. Obviously, the family is also part of the whole thing. So, how do you manage the basket full of it when it comes to handling pressure?
To be in the present. Everyone says be in the present. So I actually gave it a thought that what does it mean to be in the present? And which helped me to get rid of the pressure is to be in the present. That means to have a mind which is not having any thoughts. You have a calm and a stable mind so that you can focus on that specific moment. You can give your 100%, and what the byproduct of that would be most probably a correct decision that will in turn take care of all the extra pressures that are going to be there, because everything boils down to performance, everything boils down to the preparation, to the routines. So if you're correctly doing that, ball in, ball out, ball in, ball out, that is where I think you would be in the present, you would be doing what is expected, and you would take care of the allied pressure things.
Umpire in certain tournaments, and BCCI has been very kind to give the opportunities, the umpiring committee and all these people behind us, that they're promoting the youngsters, so no complaints. But as far as pressure is concerned, the group is very important. Like when there is a long tournament, we have so many umpires, the match referees, so the next morning or the evening before the match is so important. We have a chat, we have a laugh, and that is the best thing about this umpiring part, because we have friends away from home who are into similar situation, where we can have a laugh, we can have a banter. At the same time, we can discuss our doubts.
What happens is anything happens on field, the cameras which take over, and players also know the reputation which is at stake. But if someone is at the dugouts and if a fourth umpire is there, they are free to talk, they are free to approach, and they know that the action is happening in the center. So this conversation mostly goes unnoticed for the camera, for the broadcast. So over there, the law and interpretation, the overall man management skills, and as I've done fourth umpiring, it's something which is beyond my control. They're talking about a decision that has been taken by an on-field umpire. They're talking about a decision taken by the third umpire. But my job is to hold the team together as a fourth umpire and be the face and talk to the team management.
So, as far as fourth umpire is concerned, I feel your relationship with the players and how they look up to you. There are a lot of things in the book as well, which sometimes, again, there's a thin line what to follow, what not to follow. We give that leverage, but at the same time, we also ask that question to ourselves, that is it detrimental to the game? Because one is the law part, one is the practical aspect. You are very well aware about it. The match referee has a very closer look on how the umpires are going about, and then we obviously have a very healthy debrief after the match, which eventually helps. So preparation, I always feel, be it my playing days or I'm umpiring or anyone in general in life, half the battle is already won if you have prepared well.
How do you handle big players with that of not so regular players and maybe some debutants? Because now that you are operating at a level where you would find all of them. It could be a guy making his debut at that match, it could be a guy who's been playing for some time, and it could be a star, a marquee player. So how do you kind of control the whole thing and manage the whole thing? Is there a special, a philosophy that you follow, or special act that you come out with, or is just all this is part of the moment or natural?
So empathy, good listening, understanding their point, keeping the distance when required. If they have a valid point, communicating it well, and if things start getting out of hand, getting the match referee into the on board and handling it. So it will be a case-to-case basis.
First, we try and tell the players that what is right, what is wrong. But if sometimes it goes out of the situation, we need to create an evidence. And at the same time, the players are also very smart enough these days; they would immediately stop. So there's again a good thing to to diffuse the situation, because they ultimately know that they are, if they are wrong in a certain situation, because this is a gentleman's game, and which desires that it has to be played in a gentleman's way. So yeah, I agree with them.
I think our players are also not just very intelligent to do what they do, but they're good actors also.
Yeah.
And you got to manage them.
Yes.
And that is the art which umpire on field has to learn. So is fourth umpire. In the today's context that we do different type of formats and different type of or different levels of tournaments that we say, what do you think are the challenges for the umpires? If plain simple you have to just put it, what are the real challenges what a young umpire or even a seasoned umpire needs to be watchful?
So I'll give. And I'm going into a white ball game or a limited over game after that, I have to remind myself that if the ball goes down the leg, it's a wide. If it's a no ball, the next ball is a free hit. So going to such minute levels, the preparation changes from format to format. In a 20 over game, the power play will be different. In a 50 over game, the power play will be different. The power play rules for women games are different. One law, but there are four different ways depending on the format. So the challenge for an umpire shifting from format to format is about preparation for the laws. Secondly, the pace of the game. The way a multi-day game is played, it is more oriented towards technique. T20 is more oriented towards skill set and power. One day is a mixture of both, 50 overs game. So as players adjust, umpires also have to adjust. It's not, it can't be measured by the same yardstick. The preparation for everything is different, and that's what we have been trying to do since we have started umpiring, is to be ready for any sort of appointment that comes, so that we are ready in totality to umpire and do what is expected out of us.
Superb, and that brings me to the point that in today's context, players are also challenged in many ways. I mean, they have stipulated time to finish their overs. They have to manage the moods of the fellow players on the field. They have to go by the rules, whether it's the changeover time between the overs, and to also finish the overs on time, the financial penalties that are involved. So there's a lot that the players also have on them, and that's where I think good umpires are also trying to help them as far as possible without deviating from the book. I think that's the real crux of the problem, the crux of the thing, which is what is very important for the good governance of the game. And I think you guys are doing a wonderful job, and all I can say is sky's the limit for you guys, and do well. Here we are with the rapid fire round before we wind off this lovely session that we have had with these youngsters, the emerging umpires in our country. Likewise, many other umpires, who are doing a fabulous job under the BCCI umbrella. So let's get going with this, Ajitesh and Swaroopanand. The toughest batter's technique to read from the non-striker end?
Would be a sweep shot where the batter is covering all three stumps and you have to give a LBW decision.
The judging of where the batter is at the release point. You can't look at 2 points at a single point in time.
The bowlers with most deceptive release point you have officiated so far?
Ones who have slingy actions. So because you have to adjudge a certain bounce and the angle gets changed. So that's a bit tricky part, but as you umpire, you get used to it.
For example, someone like a Sunil Narayan, he has the carom ball, the off spinner, the leg spinner, the
Varun
one
also.
which go Varun Chakravarti. That's because not easy to read. They'll dip in, they'll cut off the pitch, they'll spin, they'll do everything.
Which is more stressful? A roaring leg before appeal on day 5 of a test match, or a last ball boundary decision in a T20 final?
Second option. Is more, the heart rate would hit 180. I can assure you, because as an on-field umpire, if you have an LBW appeal, there might be a scope of a review if they are remaining. Correct. But imagine in a high-stake game, last ball, 4-2 win, very close boundary.
Again, the situation, though we would just look at what is being, the visuals are there, the evidence would be there, but the situation would make it a bit, more tougher to come and we should be arriving at the right decision.
Okay, since both of you are foodies also, let me ask you this question. Your go-to cheat meal after spending 5 days under the sun?
For me, it would be, I would definitely treat myself if like 5 days under sun. So one thing which I love is a French toast or a jalebi.
I would definitely go for an ice cream.
Is
if
it?
I had a
Oh,
good, yeah,
okay.
I have a sweet tooth.
So 5 days is a bit too much to hold on.
No, not hold on, but that's something which I would definitely treat
You
myself
love it
with
that
if
way,
I had a
okay.
good game outing.
Okay. If you weren't a professional cricket umpire right now, what would you be doing?
So I am an engineer by qualification. So I could see myself doing a job in the IT sector, if not over here. But because I became an umpire, BCCI umpire, and an engineer the same year
Okay.
at the age of 23. So
That's interesting. That's
So
interesting.
actually, I can actually see myself being there. Just on a lighter note, so I was planning to do my masters. So for that, I had to give the GRE and TOEFL exam. So I told my mother it's either gonna be GRE TOEFL or Simon TOEFL, one of those.
If not an umpire, I would have definitely been into cricket because that's something which is my passion. Been like playing as a kid when I was 9 or 10 with a leather ball. So I'm glad that umpiring happened because that's the best seat in the stadium. As that's the best view to watch any cricket match. So if not umpiring, something related to cricket, maybe into coaching or something.
The single most beautiful cricket stadium you have ever stood in so far?
A packed Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Is it?
That is what I something which is close to my heart.
Chinnaswamy.
Chinnaswamy, Bangalore. And that's also the debut game for my live BCCI game. So multiple memories there.
Superb.
And memorized is obviously MCG Boxing Day. People will say Lords, Mecca of cricket, but I always have been fascinated to Boxing Day, MCG.
Going to be the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. That's
is
the
huge.
largest and the biggest stadium in the world, and we take pride in it because India is such a country which supports religion, cricket as a religion, and BCCI is doing a wonderful job in coming up with so many good stadiums, be it Ekana, be it the Narendra Modi Stadium. Every city has a wonderful stadium, but this stadium jam-packed, close to 1 lakh people in attendance, you umpiring with that crowd, that's next level feeling.
The last one, complete this sentence. A great cricket umpire is someone who possesses infinite dash.
The ability to adapt.
If you're well respected from the players, that means you have done a fairly good job.
So wish you all the very best, gentlemen, and you are doing an exceptional job. I can vouch for it to whatever little I can, and I look forward to having more interactions and more matches with you. All the very best. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.